You see, Joseph, you don't know this yet because you're a young man, but there's going to be a massive famine that comes into Egypt. And Joseph, I'm choosing you. I know that you're young, but I'm choosing you right now, Joseph, to save all of Egypt and to save your family. Who wouldn't have said, okay, God, sign me up? But then God says, Joseph, but here's what you've got to go through to save all of Egypt and to save your family from a famine. You see, Joseph, right now, you know your brothers don't like you very much, so what's going to happen one day is they are going to be out in the field, and they're going to see you coming from a long way off. And Joseph, as you're coming, they're going to conspire to kill you. But Joseph, because they don't want your blood on their hands, they're going to dig a hole, and they're going to throw you in a hole, and they're going to tell your dad that basically you got eaten by a wild animal. But Joseph, just as luck would have it, a band of gypsies, a caravan of gypsies are going to come by. And Joseph, your brother's going to look at each other and say, well, let's just not leave him in this hole to die. Let's make a few bucks off of our brother, and let's sell him into slavery. So Joseph, your brothers are then going to sell you into slavery. And Joseph, you're going to go and stand on blocks in a city, in a town square, and Joseph, people are going to come and bid on you. And Joseph, because I've made you a good-looking man, a man by the name of Potiphar is going to come and buy you because he is a nobleman and he only wants some good-looking people working in his house. And so Joseph, he's going to buy you. And Joseph, I'm with you through all this. And so Joseph, everything that Potiphar allows you to touch in his house, all of his finances, everything, Joseph, everything that you touch is going to grow and multiply. And Joseph, Potiphar is going to see that you have some gifts and you have some talents. So he's going to place you over everything in his house, Joseph. But then Potiphar's going to leave town. And Joseph, like Cisco said, Potiphar's wife is, ooh, that girl's so scandalous. And she's going to come, Joseph, at you. And Joseph, she's going to try to lay with you, Joseph, but you are a man of God, and Joseph, you are going to do what's right. And so, Joseph, you're going to resist her, and you're going to resist her. And Joseph, the last time that you resist her, you're going to flee from her so much that you are going to leave your cloak in her hand. And Joseph, she's going to be hurt. She's going to be upset. She's going to be a little bit mad with you. And so, Joseph, she's going to tell everybody that you raped her. Joseph, Potiphar's going to come back in town, and unfortunately, because you did what's right, you're going to be thrown into a dungeon. And in that dungeon, Joseph, you're going to meet a baker and a cupbearer for the Pharaoh. And that Pharaoh and that baker and that cupbearer, they're going to have a dream. And Joseph, I'm going to give you the power to interpret those dreams. And you're going to tell the baker that he's about to be killed. Bad news. But the cupbearer, Joseph, you're going to tell the cupbearer that he's about to be restored to power, and he's going to put Pharaoh's cup back in his hand. And Joseph, you're going to tell him, don't forget about me. Don't forget about me down in this dungeon. Don't forget about me. Remember that God has given me the gifts to interpret dreams. Tell Pharaoh about me. Get me out of here. I didn't do anything about what that woman said. She's crazy. Like, get me out of here. But Joseph, he's going to forget about you. And you're going to stay in the dungeon a while longer. And then Pharaoh's going to have a dream, Joseph. And Joseph, what's going to happen then is then the cupbearer is going to remember you. And Joseph, then he's going to bring you out, and you're going to interpret Pharaoh's dream, and the Pharaoh is going to see that God is with you, and he's going to place you number 2 in all of Egypt. And Joseph, you're going to save all of Egypt. You're going to come up with this plan to store food for 7 years. And then eventually, Joseph, your brothers that sold you into slavery, that were planning your murder, are going to come and kneel at your feet. Joseph, are you in? Joseph, did I mention it's going to take 21 years? Who would have been like, right here, I'm in? Nobody. I would have been like, there's got to be an easier way, God. I would have started dealing with God. How about 7 and I'm the leader of Egypt, And so what happens is God didn't give us a flashlight. God gives us a lamp so that we can walk daily with him, trusting in him daily. And can I just be honest with you guys? There are times in my life where I'm so thankful that I didn't see the end result of things. Right now, a lot of you guys know that me and my family, we have a special needs daughter. She's at home right now, sick. She has a cold. And God has done more in my life through having a special needs child than through anything else I've ever been through. Ever. She is such a blessing to our family. We have learned to love. We have learned unconditional love. My wife and I have grown closer. My son and I have a great, strong relationship. The way that my son's temperament is with other children is because of his love for his little sister. I have learned to relate to people. I have learned to minister to people in a whole new way. But can I be honest with you? If God had shown up to me almost 5 years ago and said, Josh, I want to do some things in you. You see, Josh, I want to build this college and young adult ministry in Jacksonville, and you're the guy that I'm choosing to use it, but I need to develop some characteristics in you. I need to develop some stuff in you. But man, you're going to reach tons of people, and you're going to minister to tons of people, and you're going to get to travel all over the place and preach the gospel, and you're going to get to see people in Ireland and all these places come to know Jesus Christ because of the things that I am going to do inside of you. And man, Josh, I want to build this in you, but here's what I need to do, or here's what I need to allow, however you need to look at it. There's some things in you I need to work out. And I want to allow you to have a special needs child. And Josh, it's going to take a toll on your marriage. It's going to take a toll on your family. It's going to take a toll on your relationship with me, Josh, because the first 3 years of her life, you're going to really struggle with what you believe all the time. And you're going to walk through some faith issues, but at the end of it, I'm going to strengthen you, and I'm going to bring you closer to me. Can I be honest with you? I don't know if I would have said, okay, God, let's do this thing. I might have said, God, let someone else do this stuff and just give me a healthy girl. But I thank God that it wasn't a flashlight that I had, but it was a lamp lighting me where I'm at. And that every day I'm growing closer to Christ, I'm growing closer to God, and that I'm not having to figure it out what it looks like 5 and 6 years down the road. Let me tell you my wife and I, our mindset now when we talk about things. When we talk about things with our daughter, God's been faithful to us. He ain't going to stop now. That's it. That's our mindset. And listen, I've come to that because of God's faithfulness. I judge God solely off of His faithfulness to my family. And I would have never had that if I had not walked through the trials I had been through. So I thank God that God didn't leave it up for me to choose, because I would have chose the path of least resistance. I would have chose the easiest path. And there are some of you in this room right now that you're walking through hell on earth, that you're going through a hard time, that there are some things happening in your world that you don't quite understand, and you don't understand how they line up. Can I promise you this? God is not surprised by what you're going through. God is not surprised at the trial. God is using it. And here's my promise to you. And this is God's promise to you. Who cares about what I promise? This is God's promise to you. That if you come and you bring that trial, you bring that circumstance, you bring that whatever to Him, that God will use it to shape you and mold you into the person that He's calling you to be.